say something. Look it, man. I've been an Atlanta fan for 45 years.
Late night vibes, we're turning up the heat. T-Will on the mic, can't accept defeat. My ATL sports show, he's running the game. Atlanta Falcons fly high, you know the name. In the heart of the A, where the pride runs deep. From the Braves to the Falcons, he's keeping it real, no sleep. He's got the scoop, every player, every play. Bringing the thunder every single day. T-Will, shining bright on the airwaves, bringing sports tonight. Atlanta heart, with a soul so free. My ATL sports show, it's the place to be.
Welcome, ATL sports fans, Falcon fans, NFL fans everywhere to the Terry, Carrie, and Eric show with your host T. Will. Our girl Carrie, 21 Carrie, Miss Carrie baby. We are so back, Carrie. Uh, pick your name, pick your moniker, whatever. And
I
of course,
love
we
that you
got
didn't
my guy.
say T. Will. I love that you didn't say pick your poison. I feel like you were about to. And
I caught myself. I
yes, you
caught
did.
myself.
Keep going.
Caught myself. And Carrie and Eric, how y'all doing today? Everybody good?
Right.
I'm good. I'm feeling good, living better.
I like. I'm gonna
That
steal that.
rhymes
Doing,
back.
doing good, living better. I'm gonna steal that. I like that. In the chat, we got my guy Monte Carlo 28. Monte Carlo 28 says they done reeled us right back in and sold us up for another season. I still cuss about losing Terry and at least once a day. I'm getting better though. King Atlanta supporter says, "What's up?" King Atlanta supporter one says changes is happening beyond the Falcons, and yes, they are. And the title of the day today's show is Lines, Lip Reading, and Leadership. Media ethics, NFL rivalries, and Falcons coaching search. Tonight's show is about boundaries between reporters and coaches, boundaries between rivalry trash talk and manufactured outrage, and boundaries between nostalgia hires and forward thinking leadership. Because the NFL right now isn't just about being played on the field, it's in locker rooms, it's interview cycle, it's all over the place. So, first and foremost, let's get to tonight's first story. We can thank Miss Carrie about this because she brought this to my attention. And as such, Miss Carrie, we want you to tell the audience about this. What is going on with this show? And Miss Carrie, why should we care?
So, in regards to that, what this is about is Miss Lynn Jones Turpin. She did She gave some words of encouragement to Liam Cohen yesterday after their playoff loss in his first year as a head coach, Jacksonville Jaguars head coach versus the Buffalo Bills. She, I don't remember exactly everything she said verbatim, but she basically said, keep your head up. Like, gave me a real, like, grandma vibe, like Southern hospitality vibe. I was really all about it. She just, you know, kind of offered words of encouragement, right? So, and it was
Okay.
something, it was, for me, it was refreshing because you don't often see that. It's like, maybe the coach or the players, they suffer a heartbreaking loss and then they're asked these questions, and it's like almost like robotic, and these people are real humans and have real feelings, and, so all that to say, I actually thought it was refreshing to see. But and I would say the majority of fans, not just Falcons fans or Jaguars fans, but just NFL fans alike, are all pretty much in unison of that, belief, is that it was refreshing to see, and hey, some positivity in the world, in today's climate. So, um, but on the other side of the coin, there's been a lot of backlash from reporters, specifically, of all different sports, that just thought that she crossed the line and she took up their time to ask questions, and they just were not about it. So, yeah.
All right, so we're gonna show the clip. And by the way, Iron Mike says, "Bruh, that lady did nothing wrong."
I'm
Do a
with
little
you.
yeah, I'm with. Well, yeah, and I don't think she did anything wrong. Craig says T Will got more TV screens than Chick-fil-A. I hear you, brother. King Atlanta says Matt Ryan getting it done with this team. King Atlanta says just ready for some Super Bowl rings for Atlanta Falcons. King Atlanta also says, "Oh Lord." All right, so guys, without further ado, let's get to this video that everyone is talking about. I'm going to share my screen and pray to God that you can hear it. And if you can't, we already know what happened anyway, but we're going to try in this instance. Hopefully you can, guys, let me know if you can hear this.
She will though. I will make it big, full screen probably, so it doesn't show, who it's from and all that. Yeah, perfect. I don't hear anything.
I hear it. So you guys don't hear anything? Eric, you don't hear anything?
I can hear, but it's real low.
Can you turn it up, please? Yeah,
All
maybe.
right, no, that's as high as it will go, unfortunately. All right. So she's wishing the guy success. She says, "Hold your head up, young man." Let me just remove that. So
You will probably have to put it up to the mic on this device.
yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do that,
Right.
Eric.
I was
I'm,
hoping you could.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be able to do that. Because it's literally right over, and it's just not gonna work. So it is what it is, guys. But she essentially says, and give me 1 second so I can get back to this. She essentially says, I just want to tell y'all congratulations on your success, young man. And she said, "Hey, Duval," she wished him well. She gave him positive encouragement. I think this was no more than 19 seconds or no more than 30 seconds at best. And she has been receiving, like Carrie said, from fans for the most part, well received. Adam Schefter was good with it. He was great, but there have been some of her media counterparts who have had some things to say. And so let's take a look at it.
T. Will, I forgot to also add that even the Jacksonville Jaguars posted her clip of her words of encouragement
Oh
on
yeah.
their official pages as well as the NFL. So they've gone viral. So I don't know if it also could be maybe a jealousy thing. I'm not sure, but
Some people just want to be mad.
maybe that
Okay,
too. Yeah.
so Brooke Pryor, who by the way is with ESPN, she says, "Look, it's a kind sentiment, but it's not the job of a reporter to console a coach in a post-game press conference. Pressers are to ask questions to gain a better understanding of what happened or figure out what's next and do it in a limited amount of time."
Man,
I'm so glad you brought that up because that exact reporter is the one who during a Steelers press conference with Aaron Rodgers when it first came out that he got married secretly and no one knew who his secret wife was questioning him about was he wearing a wedding ring and
Did she
all that.
now? Okay,
Yeah.
so that was
So,
her.
so she's getting
Oh,
what do you
pot
call that?
calling kettle black. Okay.
Yeah, she's
Pot
getting
calling
I see
kettle black.
the young people call it ratioed because they're all saying, "Oh, really? Is this you?" And they're putting the
Oh, wow.
screenshots with the proof that she
Okay.
because her argument is that you need to stick to the script and only ask the questions. Well, then how come you're asking personal questions? And that for me,
Oh,
see, that's
wow.
frustrating. I feel like it could be just people are jealous or they want something to complain about because people always want to complain, right? And people love to be negative. Be-
I mean,
Excuse me.
it's not like she sat there talking for 15 minutes or something.
Right.
This
Right.
Right.
was this was
Right.
like 15 seconds
Yeah.
or 30 at most.
Okay.
But it was just words of encouragement. I don't even understand the big uproar about it. It doesn't even make no sense. I mean,
Right.
it was. She sounded like a fan. More of them should try that.
Well, to me, she was encouraging. Fan or not, she was encouraging. But
Yeah, but
I
most of them are like reporters for that team. Like
correct.
like
Correct.
D led
Correct.
the Falcons reporter. So like they have reporters for that team, and they should absolutely do that. I don't understand why that's a big deal. Somebody should have been did that
Well, I'm glad you said that because
because they get on my nerves hating on the team.
understood.
I would much
Because
rather hear that.
right. Because what if you have to come back and ask somebody an unpleasant question? Because make no mistake about it, it is their job to ask the questions that people want to hear, but they don't want to answer. It's their job to do that. Now, is it their job to make the environment uncomfortable? No, it's not. Okay.
Okay.
And hang on, Eric, hang on. I don't have an issue with it, and I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm simply giving you the other side, right? The other side is at least twofold. Number one, you probably, again, you got some reporters that only have 30 seconds, 45 seconds, whatever. The other thing, and like I stipulated, if well, I guess it's two things. One, if you're in there being all nice, right, then it kind of creates an environment where if I want to ask the tough questions, I can't because you're up here being all sunshine like, and maybe he goes to you more than anybody else. And again, I'm not saying they're right. I'm not saying they're right. I'm simply saying that with most people who have been in the media, there's a fine line that I guess you call it a gentleman's agreement between them that essentially says, look, you can ask questions, you can even be nice, but to compliment a person when you might have to come back, 30 days from now and ask them some really difficult questions, it kind of sets it up to be tough.
I
So
think you can
again,
do both, honestly, too, Will. Like,
you do? Okay.
I personally think
We
it.
listen to them do both every day on
Okay.
92.9. They absolutely are nice to the coach and give them compliments and everything. Then they still ask the tough questions. There's a way to
Oh,
ask questions without being an ass. Yeah, excuse me,
that's
but
true.
To be honest, to reply to that, Eric, Arthur Blank's team is aired on 92.9 the game, right? So
mhm.
I wonder if 680 the fan, who is decidedly rougher with them, right? I wonder if they would feel that way. Because you can definitely see the difference in the coverage of the Falcons. And it's the same thing with the Braves. 680 the fan is just as sweet as they can be to the Braves. Yes, there's certain they're not going to ask them because the Braves games are aired on their network. Now, against the Falcons, you could argue 680 the fan is at some point disrespectful in some ways. So I ask you, right? And I'm going to expound this topic a little bit. You know how when you see a game at the end of the game where everybody's dapping it up and they're like, "Hey man, good game" or whatever. There's some guys that don't like that. There's some old school players that hate that. That are like, nah, man, you guys are playing each other. It shouldn't be all that nice stuff. You know what I mean? You should be even during end games. Somebody might be like, "Oh, great catch" or whatever, whatever. There are a lot of older players who don't like the positive interactions. They don't like when a runner gets on base and he's talking to Freddie Freeman and they're laughing it up. They don't like that, right?
See, well, I guess my issue with the whole thing is I totally get what you're saying with that.
Uh
But
huh.
my thing is a lot of these reporters, they're complaining that their argument at least is that she's wasting time, like time in a place, and
Uh huh.
she's wasting their time by being positive and not really having a true question,
Right.
just offering words of encouragement. That's not what she's supposed to be doing. She's supposed to be just asking questions. Okay, fine. But my thing is, then why don't you just skip to the script as well? Excuse me. Stick to the script by only asking questions that are relating, because they said it needs to be relating to football. I don't think I have the exact report quote from one of them, but I did send in our chat where she basically said, like, you need to ask questions that are relating to what's on the field and how you're going to get better and improve, yada yada. Which, okay, I get that, but just how I said, she that same reporter was asking about Aaron Rodgers with the wedding ring, And then that same reporter was one when she worked for the Steelers, was also one that had Mike Tomlin walk off. You know, his viral walk off clip that always goes
Yeah,
around? That
yeah.
was when she asked, there's rumors swirling around that you might be interested in a TV job in TV. And it really wasn't a question. And it really was not appropriate, in my opinion, to say something like that after they just lost. So for me, it's just hypocritical all around because
Mm-hmm.
and it just for me sucks because how this, the world can be so negative and so dark. And it's just, for me, it was refreshing and it was nice to see some positivity for once
Mm-hmm.
in the media. And I thought it was great. And it's just for me, is like, man, there's always these negative people, man, negative Nancy's, because they're just being negative about the situation and something to complain about because you are going to use the argument that she's wasting time for questions that are related to football, but you when it's your time to ask a question, you're asking stuff about Travis Kelsey's girlfriend because
Right,
Taylor Swift
right,
will get you clicks
right, right,
and Aaron Rodgers' wedding ring. You get what I mean?
right.
So it's like it's hypocritical in my opinion. That's what's frustrating for me.
Agreed. Eric, let's talk about it, man. You talked about D-Led. Let's talk about it. How do you feel about that? How do you feel? Let's get back to Falcons interviews. Talk about how you feel about that. Give me your assessment of it.
I mean, they do it on 92.9 all the time. They have the coach on there or whoever on there, and they're absolutely a sweetheart to them when they're on there. And then they still ask whatever questions they want to ask. They just don't be an ass about it. They're not asking. They're still asking the same tough question. They're just not throwing it in their face. Like, I mean, there's a way to talk to people. You can ask.
That's true.
That's the thing. If you just want to frustrate somebody, then yeah, go talk to them crazy. But there's no need. There's no need for that anyway. Whether you were going to be nice to them or not, there's no need for that anyway.
Okay, that's true. That's
A
very
tough
true.
question
That's
can
a
be
great
asked.
point. That's a great point.
That's true.
Because to me, like, it's crazy how this is going viral, in a negative way. At first, it was positive, but then it turned negative. But when people are asking, like, out of line questions or they're being super negative after a loss, maybe asking something that, a fan or someone would argue is like a stupid question, like,
Hmm.
why are you even asking that? It's like you don't see
Yeah,
that going viral, but someone's
yeah,
being
the
positive and
dumb
they're getting
question.
criticized. Yeah.
You
What
know
were you
the
thinking when you
other
went for it there on fourth down, coach?
the
Like, what
right, right,
what are you
right.
expecting him to say right there?
Right, exactly, exactly. Or there was even one for Green Bay. I was looking at it a minute ago, and they were asking him a question about whether or not he was going to fire a coach or whatever. And it was right after the loss, and he's like, "Man, it's not the time. It's not the time. It's not the time." Now, the other side of that is it is their job to ask those questions. So there is a fine balance. The other thing about this is we didn't see her entire interview. We don't know if there was a question after that, right?
Mm,
So if she made the statement and then followed that up with a question, I really don't have a problem with it because it was her time, right? I again, I'm trying to see it from both sides. Okay. Personally, no, I don't have a problem with it, but I'm not a reporter. I'm not in the trenches. I don't know that. Let's look at some comments, however. So these are Twitter trolls. That's why she is in the room with the microphone, David. Everyone in that room is a mouthpiece for the league and team nowadays. And he clearly doesn't know who she is because she's been in this game for years.
yeah.
So that's not true. David Todd says virtually nobody in that room in the audience works for the league or the team. And let's get to some other comments. Will Brown says Lynn Jones has worked in journalism longer than you have been on this earth. She has an extended record of producing trusted journalism in Northeast Florida. The Jacksonville Free Press explicitly states it's an outlet that talks to its readers, not just about them. And hey, if that's what their readers want to see, so be it. All right, guys. Last, I'm gonna close with this. I think Carrie sent me something where, let's hear. Oh wait, no, that's not her. I'm sorry, Carrie. Shoot, where'd you go? Here it is. All right, guys, I'm gonna share the screen. I hope you guys can hear this, but if you can't, I'll translate for you. Give me one sec. Okay, let's remove that. Now let's add that. All right, let me know if you guys can hear this.
No,
Is it on?
unfortunately, we don't hear it. Yes, it's her response to the criticism.
Oh yeah, it's real low again. I can tell something's on, but I can't even
Yeah,
hear what they're saying.
okay.
It's so low.
All right, no problem.
But that
Sorry.
could just be us. You might want to ask the audience.
Can you guys hear it in the chat? If you guys can't hear it, I'm sure they can't. Can you
I
guys
want
hear it in the chat? But
Steven,
yeah,
excuse me,
go ahead.
sorry. I want to ask you if the sound is coming through your speakers.
Yeah, it is.
Because maybe you have to
I have
change
a, I have
something
a
in the.
speaker.
Yeah,
I have
maybe
a
you
speaker.
could change the settings to where it plays through. What is this called that you're in? I'm blinking. I'm sorry.
StreamYard.
StreamYard. Maybe
No,
to play it through StreamYard. I don't know.
I'd have to load it as a video file and it wouldn't take it before that. So no biggie. But she
Oh,
goes
okay.
on to say she's been in this business for 25 years. She's interviewed Obama, Tiger Woods, a litany of others, and that person is welcome to their opinion, and that's fine. To me, it's petty, it's small, and it's really hypocritical. That's why nowadays, when you come after somebody, the internet keeps receipts.
And
Okay,
so does
so
Care. And so does
go ahead.
21 Carrie, by the way.
Love it. So, but she looks really silly because I didn't know that that was her, but now that she looks really silly saying that, and I hope somebody tagged her in that. I hope they tagged her with the video of her doing that because I mean that's just like you just really you look silly. Now you
Oh,
look
don't
petty.
worry. The
Now you look
internet's
jealous.
coming for her. Don't worry, T Will. They're all coming for her.
Good deal. All
Yeah.
right, guys. Let's go on to our next segment, and that is rivalry and lip service. All right. So Ben Johnson, and to be clear, nobody saw him. I know we talked about it earlier. Nobody saw him say the words "We own you," but I'm pretty sure he said it. But it is hearsay. Okay. But
Oh, really?
here's what we do know. Here's what we do know. When Ben Johnson was first interviewed, he said, talking about his time with Detroit, we enjoyed beating the Packers twice a year. Okay? That's the first thing. Then in the locker room, when they're celebrating, he's like, F the Packers, which, again, you're in the locker room. I don't really have an issue with that. It's probably not great, but you're in the locker room. If people are filming it, you're in your locker room. I don't really have an issue with it. Then there was the frosty handshake that was kind of giving FU. And I mean, at least he did shake his hand. But I just feel like you're kind of egging it on. Not everybody's gonna like each other. But today we're talking about boundaries and hey man, let's get to it. So again, there's no evidence that he mouthed those words, but what we do know is he did come out and say "F the Packers," and there's no need of me trying to play it. You guys are gonna hear it, but you can go online, you can Google Ben Johnson "F the Packers," and the video will come up, and you will see him saying it. Now, what I want to talk to you guys about today is Eric and Carrie, where is that line of rivalry and disrespect for you guys? Where does rivalry start and disrespect end?
I'll go first. Okay.
All right.
Rivalry is you absolutely hate these jokers and you hate everything about them and you will enjoy every minute of clowning them.
Okay.
Um Crossing the line for me would be just like anything. In regards to competition or rivalry. And for me that would mean crossing the line in regards to their family, their spouse, their children, their race, their religion. To me, that's crossing the line.
Okay.
But that's
You're
about
okay
it
with
for me.
F the Packers. You're okay. F
Oh,
the
I
Packers.
would love it if my head coach said F the Saints.
Okay. Okay. Eric, how do you feel about it?
I would love it if my next coach smacked the Saints coach.
Thank you. Thank you. We're on the same page, twin.
So I absolutely love what he did. What he did. What he said. Yeah, it's a rivalry. It's not like Carrie said. It's not like he went um off the script with something that's has nothing to do with the rivalry. It's not like he went on to talk about him as a man, talked about his kids, or he didn't make it personal. It's the rivalry.
All right.
So
All
I
right,
completely understand it. I'm with every minute of that.
all
Okay.
right, go ahead, T. Will. Go ahead and tell us. End the fun and the party here.
No, you know what? I'm not gonna end it. I'm not gonna end it because he did shake his hand. That's number one. Now it was a petty exchange, okay, but he did shake his hand, okay. Um, and I mean that's really all. My concern was at the end of the day. Let's be even if you hate the guy, shake his hands. Right now, the whole "we own you." If there was evidence of that, I might have had issue because you're a coach acting like a player. And that's fine at a certain point until it until it gets out of hand, right? Because if we extrapolate that over time, that's just going to get worse. Your team is going to emulate your behavior, right? So now you're going to have more fights. Now you're going to have players walking where they shouldn't before game time. It's going to descend into something ugly. But I didn't see him do that. I heard, I didn't see him do that. So if I didn't see him do that, I don't have any evidence of it. This that we're looking at now is him saying, I enjoyed beating the Packers twice a year. Or Matt LaFleur twice a year. Okay. And they beat him November 20th, and then he beat him yesterday. All right. The next one is this is the handshake. That's the first game. That hold up. That's
I
the
love
second
it.
game. This is the
I,
last one. Now that you all right, so you see that, right? You see that. All right. So anybody in the chat have an issue with it? Anybody had because he kind of
Man,
I'm
can we
not
get
gonna say
can we get Ben over here?
I'm
right. I mean, that's what makes it fun, man. Honestly.
yeah. Well, the chat agrees with you guys. So Carlos says it's good competition for the game. He also says a little animosity is good for the blood circulation. So he is all about a rivalry. Nothing wrong with that. John Brooks says Carrie is a straight G. I got your back, Carrie. You're a homie.
Thanks, John.
Craig says F all these naysayers and haters. Who else did I miss? I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I gotta get yeah. Craig says Jack Spade must be back at work running those cables for all those screens. Good job, T. Will, for giving the job to the unemployed, aka Jack. Damn, Jack, I didn't say it. That wasn't me. That was your boy Craig. Okay, but again, to be fair, Jack was talking a lot of trash about Craig last night, and I told Jack that Craig was gonna get him back. It is what it is. Let's see. John Brooks says, "What up, T. Will and Carrie Falcons have interviewed Jim Harbaugh. I'm praying to the football gods that we hire him." And we'll get into Jim Harbaugh in a sec. But yeah, man. So you guys saw nothing wrong with that. All well. And again, it's petty. He clearly doesn't like him. But I'm wondering, why are you directing all of this at the Packers? Now, you know what? It could be because Aaron Rodgers owned the Bears, right? So maybe this is a thing where he was trying to get them to beat their rival and get them to stand up. And it certainly worked. But Aaron Rodgers owned the Bears for years. Matter of fact, I think he talked about it. So maybe that was it, right? Maybe it wasn't just about LaFleur so much as it was about Chicago has been owned by the Packers, and I need for these guys to get behind this, and that's what it is. You guys think that's what it is, or you think he just hates the Packers? Give me your thoughts.
I think he hates the Packers.
Same. I was gonna say the same thing. I'm like, he understood the assignment, right?
Yeah,
he joined the team this year and understood this is a long-standing rivalry. Our fans hate them, they hate us, the players hate them. Like he gets it. He understood the assignment.
Craig says, I'm assuming Ben Johnson is mad at Matt LaFleur for whoa. Uh okay, Craig. I'm yeah, I can't read that, bro. If that's what you think, I'm gonna, I'm just gonna move
Just
on,
by
Craig.
just by you saying that, I kind of get an idea. I'm not even looking at it, but I kind of get an idea of what it's.
And he's a savage.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that one right there. All right, guys. So again, I guess we could chalk this up to just good old fashioned clean old hate, kind of the way we feel about the Saints. One thing we gotta add, and then we gotta go to the last segment of the show. And you guys, you and I, Carrie, we're talking about this. We kind of brought Eric and everybody else into it. Um, and it's probably not going to be the popular opinion, but we're going to talk about it. So, about 2 years ago,
Oh Lord.
oh yeah, we got to talk about it. So, about 2 years ago, Saints are playing the Falcons. Arthur Smith's on his way out, and it's 44 to whatever. The Saints are kicking the you know what out of us, and they run a play. No, no, no. They get into the formation like they're going to kneel, and then they run a play to score a touchdown, running it up to like 49 or 50. Okay. And I had an issue with this because I felt like that's poor sport. If you're up 44 to whatever and you're going to kneel. Now, if you run a play, that's different. That's poor taste, but at least you run a play. But this isn't for the game. This is for nothing else than rubbing it. I mean, you say you want to get this guy, whatever, but
Oh, that's
there have been plenty of players before this guy that were in that same situation that didn't do that.
oh
It is
come
poor sport.
on.
No, it is poor sportsmanship. It is bad. It is bad taste. I did not. If you're gonna do it, stand up like a man and do it, Jameis. If you're gonna run that play, then get out there, right? Don't be a punk, right? Don't be a little bitch, right? If you're gonna run the play, stand up like a man, right? Look them in their eyes and say, damn it, we're running this play. Stop us if you will. I wouldn't like it, I would respect it. But to do that candy ass bullshit, to go out there in a formation like, oh, we're just gonna kneel and run that touchdown, Jameis, you are a punk.
I wish the Falcons would. That's all I'm saying.
I
I
no, listen,
initially
I'd be if the Falcons did that from that formation,
come
I'd be
on.
embarrassed. No,
Oh, come
no.
on. It's
If
not
you no no
embarrassing.
no,
It's a
Carrie, if you're gonna do
rivalry.
it,
It's
if
a
you're gonna do it,
rivalry.
if you're gonna do it like a man. If you're gonna do it like a man. Don't be cowardly about it.
I don't
Don't
think
be
it
a
was
punk.
cowardly.
Do it like a no, because people are taking it easy on that play because they don't want to get hurt.
Yeah, that's
And there's
my thing with that play. My thing with that, with him doing that, is I get the rivalry part of it. Even I get what Carrie's saying. It would be funny to see the Falcons do that back to them, but at the same time, I don't want them to do it because it's dangerous. You just ask them to stand there while you run through
correct.
them.
Correct. Correct. Like I said, do it like a man. That's a BS play, and Jameis is a punk. Okay,
Oh wow.
I did not like that because that's a punk move.
I'm
If you're
sorry,
gonna do it, do it.
Jameis. When you're an Atlanta Falcon this 2020 season, I apologize for my
Jameis, when
insensitive
you're in
way.
Atlanta, you're still a punk. You're still a punk, Jameis. I don't agree with you did, and I'll say it to your face. I didn't like that.
Sheesh.
I didn't know because men don't do that. You don't do that. If you're gonna do that,
But
right?
the whole squad agreed with it.
No, you had a squad. First of all, those squad they were punks, and clearly they didn't respect their head coach. Everybody who agreed with that is a punk. Because again, when you get in that formation, you have guys. They're not gonna try and hit you because you're surrendering. You're in that
Yeah,
formation.
that's like going that's like you was fighting with somebody and then y'all decide, okay, we cool now, and y'all go to dap each other up, and then he smacks you.
Okay,
Correct.
it's
Correct.
definitely a cheap shot,
Correct.
but like it's a cheap shot, 100%. And Not that I agree with it, but I can't be mad at it either. It's a rivalry, and
I can be
shit like
mad at it. I can
stuff like
because
that
it's a
happens with
punk move.
rivalries,
It's
honestly,
a
and
no. You
it
you
does.
as if you still have to be a man first is what I'm saying, right? Look, if I compete with anybody, at the end of the day, if you beat me, you beat me. But that's a punk move. And
I'm
Jameis
just
is a punk, and everybody who agreed to that is a punk. And I want to say another word, but I'm not. I really
that's
want to say
fine.
another word because
That's fine.
there's nothing else I can say to describe that. That's cowardice. If you're gonna be inappropriate, if you're gonna say, hell yeah, I'm gonna run the score up. At least say it to my face. That way, if I don't stop it, it's on me. But that BS, nah. You kick rocks.
I
You
respect
kick
your
rocks,
opinion.
Jameis, and I will tell you for the rest of your life, you a punk. Period.
I, I,
Anyway.
res- I respect your opinion, but
I respect yours. I get it. I understand.
uh,
It's just look, where Eric and I are from, we did not grow up like that. You to pull that shit when we were playing football, that those two head coaches would have fought.
but the thing is,
Okay,
you don't see it like they're not randomly doing it to like anybody else. They purposely were doing it to Atlanta Falcons.
I get it, right? But
It's
still,
like
you're a man. Act like it. There's a code. Okay, there's a code. My father taught. There's a code amongst men. There's a code. You have no code,
I
Jameis.
guess
You have
I
no
guess
code.
I'm not a man, so I don't get it. But for
Correct.
me, I didn't get as offended as you. You're very worked up. Like it
No,
really bothered you. I could
I
tell.
didn't like it because it was cowardly, Carrie. If that had been anybody, now it makes it worse because it was the Saints. I'll give you that. But if that had been
It
anybody
only
that
happened
did that,
because it was a Saint, so that's the only reason it happened.
no, I think it happened because
Yeah.
Jameis is a punk.
And he
No,
because
it had
Jameis would not do that
right.
if he was playing for the Giants. Jameis wouldn't have did that then. The only reason he did that was because of the rivalry. I
Yeah.
agree with Kerry with that part of it, but I do agree that it was a real punk move
Yeah.
because you don't want to say the word. I won't say it neither.
Yeah.
But I, I I do agree. I do agree with that because, like I said, you asking, so you really saying, okay, we done fighting, all right, we good now, and then you snuck him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That
Exactly. Exactly.
like, if
Eric.
you wanted to fight,
The
then
cheap
keep
shot.
fighting.
Cheap
Exactly.
shot.
Eric.
Why you trying to act like we good and then you gonna sneak me? Yeah,
Exactly. Let
yeah.
me ask you a question. If that had been you in high school, what would your coach have done if your rival pulled that bullshit? What would your coach have done?
Well, we finna fight him. The
Exactly.
coach wouldn't even have to do it. We
Exactly.
finna fight him.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's my point.
I
Anyway,
wonder
guys,
if you'd be this upset if it like what would your be reaction honestly if like the Falcons did this to the Aints?
if
You'll
they
be
did
like
it in
upset
if they
too?
did it in that way,
Yeah, like
I'd
this
be
if the
ashamed.
roles were reversed.
I'd be ashamed because
To
that's a
this
punk
day you'd
move.
be still like this energy? Like it seems like
I'd
it
be
really
ashamed. I'd,
bothered you.
I'd be ashamed because that's a punk move.
Wow. And
That's
you
a
say
that's a
all of our
punk move.
players are cowards and stuff?
Before I'm anything, I'm a man. Before I am
That's fair.
anything, I am a man. And I'm gonna carry myself that way. And if we are competing, because you can what if somebody got hurt? What
No,
if
I get it.
somebody, because they're surrendering, right? Okay, you can hurt somebody.
Definitely. No,
You
I
get what
agree
I'm
with
saying?
you.
That's
I
a
agree
punk
with you.
move. That is a I can't defend that. That is a punk move. And Jameis pulled that shit because he could. He would not have pulled that with other coaches because
I'm
he'd have been thrown out the
Yeah,
line.
they didn't respect the coach no way.
They did not. They did not. They did not respect Dennis Allen. You're 100% correct. But anyway, guys, we got to go. We got about 22 minutes for this last segment. Sorry, guys, got a little emotional. I hate the Saints, and that's another reason why I really don't like James. Anyway, Falcons interviewed Jim Harbaugh. This comes after interviews with Kevin Stefanski, Clint Kubiak, Anthony Weaver, A. Dirty, John Harbaugh. What do we think about who they've interviewed thus far? And who's your guy? And Carrie, we're going to start with you.
oh goodness. My guy is Anthony Weaver.
Stop it.
I,
Stop it. You know what you're
I,
doing? She's
I
trying to
was
jack
gonna say,
fade me. she's trying to jack space. She's trying to gaslight me
I'm
now.
so glad that I'm
Oh,
not on camera because I'm such a bad liar. You would have been able to tell.
oh my
I
goodness.
quickly muted.
Oh,
No.
that Carrie.
No, my guy, I really like Clint Kubiak. I think I personally, I feel, it sounds as if we're gonna be keeping um the DC. I
Yeah,
don't know
over.
why lately I keep forgetting Ulbricht's name. I'm so sorry, Jeff, if you're listening. I keep
Great.
forgetting it lately. I don't know why. But yeah, it seems as if we're going to be keeping Jeff Ulbricht because, hello, your owner says, I'm going to highly recommend he's retained. I can't decide it. That's the head coach's decision. But I mean, if you're the head coach, you see this guy just had the defense looking the way they did, second in sacks in the league, and set a franchise record, and your owner in your new job is saying, "Hey, I highly recommend you keep this guy." Are you really gonna be like, "Nah"? Like, I doubt it, So it's looking like he's gonna
Yeah,
stay. Yeah,
yeah.
right. So it's
They
looking like he's
did
gonna.
that with Nielsen though.
Yeah, they did move. I mean, that's normal. That the new guy comes in, he picks his guy. But I don't know if Arthur Blank came out and said, I'm gonna highly
Yeah, did,
recommend.
did Arthur did Arthur recommend Nielsen to Raheem? Did he recommend? Did he say? Did he do that, Eric?
I I'm thinking he did,
Okay.
and Raheem had his own guy.
Oh wow, that sounds like him.
But because
He went 0 for
when
3
he
on his
came
hires.
in,
That makes it even worse. Then wait, no, I thought he left before Eric.
did
I
he?
I thought he did. I thought he
He got
left.
a job in Jacksonville, right?
I
Yeah,
think Raheem had his own guys, and then he went and got the job in Jacksonville.
no,
But
I think because I remember him leaving before because you and I were talking about we wanted him to stay because I think he was mad because Arthur Smith got fired. Look. I could be wrong. I could. You know what? We'll look it up. We'll get into that next show. How about that? Next time we have a Terry, Carrie, and Eric show because there will be another one. We'll get into that then. But
Okay.
with that being said, Eric, who's your guy?
um, I kind of want Zach Robinson.
Stop it, Eric. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Sorry, he's
Why
taking the
why are
Bucks are
you guys
taking
trying to
him.
give me oh my God, you trying to give me ulcers today.
Now, me and Carrie have the exact same views on who we
Yeah,
want in all the positions.
literally,
We
we have the
already
same
talked
top
about
three.
this. Yeah, our top three is the exact same.
All right, well give us your top three.
Kubiak. We had Lafleur up there, but obviously they're keeping Lafleur.
Yeah.
Do you
And
that's a good go ahead. Let me because I got a question after that. Go ahead. Look, so Kubiak, LaFleur, and who else?
the third was Harbaugh, but I think that was by default.
Okay.
I
So
think we both really want Kubiak,
okay.
and I kind of like the Mike McDaniel thing too.
As a head coach or as an OC?
OC.
Okay. Because I don't think he had respect
But
in
did you
in,
guys see
in
that we
Miami.
interviewed him for head coach though? I don't
You
want him
you
as a
know
head
what?
coach.
I think we did that, but I think that was a premise to get him here as an OC. At least I hope it was. I
Are you
don't know.
sure? Because he has a scheduled interview with the Lions as the OC.
But
So I don't think it's trickery.
if you got Matt over him, well, it's kind of like the teacher being in. Mario said something to me.
Yep.
It's kind of
Yep.
like the teacher being in the other classroom. So when the teacher walks out the classroom, everybody acts full. I gotta
Exactly.
go. I gotta go get Matt.
Yeah. Because they don't respect you. Right. So I mean, I don't know. But guys, let me ask you this question. Do you feel like this is a ploy by the Packers to like kind of delay this? Because interviews are happening now, right? I know you can't hire everybody because there's some coaches that are still in the playoffs, but these interviews are happening now. So let's say they draw this out like 2 weeks, right? And then come back and say, oh, well, we don't want you. Like I don't know that I necessarily trust this because you waited until the end of the season. Like if it's me, I'm giving them the big FU. If you wanted to work this out, because mind you, all year he was a lame duck coach. There's certain players that aren't going to respect you because we don't know if you're going to be here next year or not. So you did this. I
But
tell the Packers, get in line.
nah,
Get in
ain't
line.
he still under contract for next season?
No, I don't think so. No, I think that.
Yeah, he has 1 year
He
left,
has one more year
2026.
left. They're
Oh,
they're
does he?
No
Okay.
extension.
Okay. Okay. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that. Okay. I stand corrected. My bad. I still think it's a ploy. I do. I think they're
But it's
gonna.
a whole year ahead. It ain't like they waited till the last minute and then did it. It's a year ahead. Nobody can pitch
That's
him
true.
unless unless they fire him.
That would
But
be dirty.
yeah,
Or they don't work out a deal and he's got
and
to go
that
all
would
next.
be hurting them right now too, because they're missing interviews that they could be getting with everybody. Even if you're not gonna hire somebody, you still want to interview everybody because you're hearing all the ideas.
Or
So
maybe they don't want him to interview. Because what I'm looking at is what if they don't work out a deal?
if
Now
they
you are a
don't,
lame duck coach.
but
Now you are. Go
if
ahead.
they don't want him, and why would they not want him to interview?
What I'm saying, maybe they want to change the leverage. Maybe they want to have all the leverage. You get what I'm saying? Like if well, they have all the leverage, but they could really like he could ask for permission. They don't have to give it, but it kind of slows down the wheels of him even being considered. And let's say they go through this process and they don't work out a deal. Now where are you? You're a lame duck coach anyway, and now your leverage is against you because the teams that you could have gone aren't there. Those opportunities aren't there. So then they could come back and be like, well, we want you to do this, 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 and this, and you're going to do it because now you don't have a choice because now you can't interview with this and again, whatever. It might be me overanalyzing it, but
Yeah,
whatever.
you got a whole you got a whole year for teams to need a head coach.
Right, but the teams that you have this year, I hear you, but you again, everybody wants him now, right? So, like case in point, with Harbaugh, I don't think Miami was going to fire McDaniels, but when Harbaugh became available, then they fired him, right? If LaFleur becomes available, you might have some other teams that like you. He, in other words, I'm saying he might have some opportunities this year that he may not have next year, and maybe that's why they're doing it. I don't know, but
I wish
either way,
I wish they fire him this year because
I do too.
next year the Saints and Panthers might need a head coach and the Bucks, and I don't want them over there.
Exactly, 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 100%. All right,
But
guys. Let's talk about Harbaugh for a sec. So Harbaugh comes, he's a program builder, he's a culture enforcer, physical identity, win now urgency, but he also, now again, this is allegedly wanted control demands, uh, wanted 20 millions. Now they've
I say
come
that's
out,
not true.
well, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
They say it's not true. Okay. That because let's look at this, right? And I alluded to this last night a little bit. Pete Carroll got 15 million, right? So we can establish that the floor for Harbaugh is at least 16 million. 20 million is only 4 million from 16. You get what I'm saying? So if you're
Mhm.
trying to get 16 or 17 or even 18, you always go in higher. You're not going to go and say, "Oh, we want 16 million," because then what if they could it's a game. They're going to lowball you, right? So if you want to end up at 18 million or 17 million, you would start with 20 million,
But
which
they
is
said
why
that's what's important to him.
I know that of course he's going to say that cuz it sounds bad.
Uh,
That doesn't mean
I
it
don't think so.
that doesn't mean his agent didn't put it out there. It
I
may
don't.
not have
I
come from him. It
disagree.
could come from his agent.
I disagree.
I mean, look, I'm not saying it 100% happened. I'm saying it could happen. It could be. Look, two things can be true at one time. A guy can be a great coach and he can want 20 million and he can want control, right? Because look at Terry Fontenot. Raheem basically got him fired. If Raheem doesn't do half the dumb stuff he does, we're in the playoffs for 2 years and Terry Fontenot is still there, probably with an extension. I don't. I could understand why they fired Terry, but I don't think Terry necessarily deserved it. Raheem did 100%. But you know what I
I
mean.
think they
But
both did,
be-
respectfully.
you said what?
I've w- I've I've come to the terms of it, and I think they both did, honestly. Although I really
Okay,
like
that's
Terry,
fair.
and
That's fair.
I really like Terry, and I wish him well. And I do think that last draft he really earned himself a spot to get in a little bit more time. But in your argument in your defense is, yeah, Raheem did him no favors at all because
None at all.
uh, a
None at all.
coach like John Harbaugh or you know Mike Matt LaFleur, coaches that
Any
are,
competent coach.
yes, any competent coach would have gotten you in the playoffs one out of the two last seasons, or
There you
maybe
go.
even
There you
two
go.
out of two.
There you go.
So for me, it's like, but I get why he was fired at the same time, and I personally, I see it as like a lot of times it's just better to clean house and start fresh,
That's
start
fair.
over.
No, that's fair.
And
That's 100%
I don't
fair. And
even know of
you're
a
right.
circumstance where a GM survived 5 seasons
5 years
of
without,
losing.
yeah, without, well,
So
5 year losing, 5 losing seasons. You're right. You
yeah,
100%
no
right.
playoffs. So it's unfortunate. I do think like Terry's not free from blame, but I do think like, Raheem really kind of messed him up. But then again, they said that they're a collaborative effort, so it's kind of like,
The GM is over the head coach, and the head coach.
Could be.
So you signed off on all that shit Raheem did. You signed off on him bringing these
yeah,
coordinators in here that had no experience.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree with you. Yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
kind of like I've kind of accepted it, especially now that a guy like Ian Cunningham is the favorite to be our next GM, who's learned under some greats in both Baltimore
Hmm.
and also in Philadelphia. So he has great experience learning under some of the best, and
Yeah,
I'm
I
I'm
mean,
I'm actually happy about it now.
we like the way Terry drafts, but it's more than being a GM than just drafting. It's
You're
more.
right.
So
Right.
it's the other part of it that got him fired. It's not the drafting. He killed the draft, but
Yeah,
it's the other part of it, the signing off on stuff, and like you said, 5 seasons, and you don't have one winning record out of 5 seasons.
that's rough, right? Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
No, that's
like,
and
fair.
you're signing off on this stuff, even if it is the coach's idea, you're over the coach and you keep signing off on it.
That's fair.
yeah.
And Ian Cunningham is from what I've heard, is in his expertise is in scouting, right? So I think that's great because the Falcons historically have just not been great at scouting certain positions, right? So I think that'll be an added bonus. I guess my question is, who's the capologist going to be in the nest here? You know what I mean? Because I think Terry was a bit of a capologist.
I
So
think
who
it still could be Ian because he's been the assistant GM in Chicago for like the last 3 years, I believe. So I'm sure he's gotten some experience under Ryan Poles with that.
I wonder if he'll have somebody on his staff or bring in somebody under him that is that their thing is capology. I know capology is not a word. Oh,
Rich McKay.
but remember, Eric, he's no longer a part of the Falcons. Eric,
I actually
Right,
he's
love
no
that he
longer a part of the Falcons.
was
right.
He's
was
got
not.
a new position, Eric.
I
This is
actually
like.
this time
Go
though. I
ahead, Chris.
really believe it this time. I really do. I know that people are skeptical, but I truly feel like Arthur Blank was probably that he pays the company thousands and I'm sure hundreds of thousands of dollars to come in here and say, like, completely embarrass you by saying, yeah, these jokers in your front office, your coaching staff, they're not even all on the same page. There's no common goal here. How embarrassing.
That is
That's
embarrassing.
embarrassing. And you're
That
the
is.
guy overall overseeing all this. He said that was shocking for him. And so for me, it's like I truly feel, especially with Matt Ryan coming in, I truly believe, and maybe I'm being naive, but I do feel like change is here. Like what's his name in the chat always tells us 2026, a new era of Falcons football. And I do
Hmm.
believe that because, the interviews so far, I forgot who tweeted it out. It was a respectable name. And they said this was the Falcons brass that was in the room for the interview so far. And they named like, Arthur Blank, Greg Beatles. They named all these different names. And supposedly, um, what's his name was not in there. So Um,
Matt Ryan wasn't in there.
oh, what's his name? Oh, God,
Rich McKay.
Rick McKay,
Oh,
supposedly,
Rich McKay.
and he was in there
But here's the
um,
thing.
for Terry
He he
Ryan's.
doesn't have to be in there. The thing with Rich McKay and the reason why he will never go away is he's Arthur Blank's best friend. You're not just gonna cut. You're gonna talk
Yeah,
football with your best friend. And you're gonna bounce out ideas off
it's like
of him.
me and Eric, right? It's
Right.
like
That's just
if
like
I own the Falcons, you guys really think I'm gonna fire my brother? Like my brother, we would, and we probably argue every day. I'll give you that. But he would. I'm not firing my brother. I'm never going to
even
fire my brother. My brother
even
is
if you
always going to be
did.
a part of it.
But even if I didn't work there anymore, he's still gonna call me and talk about the Falcons. So the ideas are still coming from
True, and
him.
I'm not naive to think that they're not going to talk about the Falcons. I just feel that if Arthur Blank keeps his word and the changes are being made with Ian Cunningham coming in and Matt Ryan coming in, I feel like,
And,
Arthur
and my
Blank will
question
listen.
is, what did he fire him from though? Didn't he say last year he wasn't there?
No,
Didn't that,
no, he said it
He's
2 years ago. You're 100% right, Eric. He said the
yeah,
same thing 2 years ago.
2 years
He's no
ago he
longer
said
right. He said the
right. He
same
had
thing.
nothing to do with
He did.
football operations anymore. So
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
what did he just get fired from? What did he retire from then?
Right. Right. Exactly. What anyway, whatever. Hey guys,
because
go ahead. Go ahead, Carrie.
no, I was just gonna say that is true. He said he wasn't overseeing football, but technically he still had the title. Now he no longer has a title, and allegedly he's not gonna be involved at all. So hopefully that reigns true, and hopefully
but
he's very busy with the World Cup coming up because Atlanta will be hosting some World Cup games, and that's gonna be uh global event, global not just event, but tournament. People from all around the world will be coming. So hopefully Rich McKay's busy with that because
But
he's going to be the
I
one in
don't,
charge.
I really don't think Rich was doing anything anyway. I think he just keeps saying that to because the fans, whenever like when Raheem and Terry got fired, I saw it all over the place. They need to get Rich McKay about it. They need to get, and I'm like, I thought they already did that. So then after everybody goes crazy about getting Rich McKay up out of there, then there they come with the announcement of, oh, Rich McKay is retiring or whatever they said. Like,
I think that came from an interview that they had. But yeah, we got to go anyway, guys. So, Carrie, last thing, and then we can run. If you got your choice of an offensive architect, a defensive culture builder, or a CEO head coach, which Harbaugh is, by the way, who do you think we need most, Carrie?
Oh man, that's so tough, T Will, because I would love a proven head coach like John Harbaugh. Like,
Okay,
who am I to say that, like, you know, stick my chin, turn my face, turn my nose up to a guy like John Harbaugh, Super Bowl winning head coach who has 180 wins under his belt? I
that's
mean,
true.
who am I to turn, my back on him like, oh, I'm too good for you? Excuse me. Arguably, I think he would come in and be the best head coach we've ever had on paper as far as the resume goes. Is that right? You have more Falcons knowledge than me, T. Will. You've been around longer. Is that
No,
true?
but you're right. You're
So,
100%
okay.
right, Carrie.
yeah,
So
you're right.
yeah, so for me it's like I'm not gonna say like he's not my first choice, and the reason being is because he's a CEO head coach, and I feel like we'd have to nail the OC because I feel like
We
we
agreed.
really need an offensive minded head coach, and that's why
Agreed.
I really want Clint Kubiak. But it's a tough situation because it's like it's a gamble, He could be a great coordinator, not a good head coach, but that's a gamble you take with somebody who's up and coming, young. That's another benefit. He's young, so if he works out, he could be your next, Mike Tomlin, where he's there
Good
many,
point.
many years. So it's like it's really tough, and that's kind of like I would think that Eric agrees with me. That's why
Right,
Lafleur was our number one choice because he's proven, he's
Yep.
got wins under his belt.
Yep.
He has experience and he's offensive minded. So I felt like it was the best of both worlds. So
right.
I don't know. I feel like that now that Matt Ryan's here, he has our best interests as fans and he loves the city and loves the team. So I feel like I'm going to trust whoever he picks.
I am a dinosaur nerd king.
Oh,
Uh, so let me you made me. He made me forget what I was. God dang it, Dynasty! I forgot what I was gonna ask, and it was so good. Jesus.
You're
About
gonna
Harborough.
you're gonna ask Eric the same thing. Like, what would he
No,
rather?
it was because you made me think of it, and it was. Oh God, dang it! All right, Eric, same thing. What do you got? CEO. Dang it, Nerd King, you made me forget.
I'm gonna
Uh,
take the offensive coach.
I'm sorry, I
okay,
just have to say, are you proving Nerd King's point there?
I really am. I really am.
That was kind of
I
funny.
really am. Because I was right there. I was like, oh, this is gonna be so great. Oh, and I just, oh my God. I'm so mad. All right. Anyway, I agree with. I think we do need an offensive coach. I do agree, and I think Nerd King says I rest my case.
Shout out to you, Nerd King.
I gotta bang the gavel. He's right. He's right. All right. Well, guys, look it. We gotta go. I gotta go make the streets safer for wireless customers everywhere. As always, Miss Carrie, thank you for joining me. My literal blood brother from another, thank you for joining me. This was fun. I appreciate it. Carrie, please tell these folks where they can find you.
You can find me on the Terry and Carrie show once a week. You can find me on One Time for the Fan whenever Jack is not busy, doing whatever he does, cleaning, doing yard work, what have you. And yeah, you can find me on Twitter. Also, my at is right under there under We Are So Back Carrie. So thank you guys. I appreciate you all for joining us today. It's been
Yep.
fun.
And I'm going to shout my brother out for letting me live earlier because we were in a discussion, and I know he had about 15 in the clip, and he let me live. I'm surprised. I
Oh,
really was going to ask him if he felt okay because he he let me live. I can't believe it. But anyway, you can
About
find
what?
it. You said we won't get into it. What were we talking about earlier? Anyway, you can find him at section 101 at the Benz Stadium. Eric, any last words you want to tell these folks?
Nah.
Our fans in the chat.
Rise up.
Uh, I
fire.
knew it. I knew it. I knew what he was going to say because this is my brother. I know him. Anyway, all right. So, hey, to everybody who joined us in the chat, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate that as always. Eric, brother, you should come back, man. This is fun. Me, you, and Carrie. Let's
I
do it
mean,
again.
it's supposed to be the Terry, and Eric show, but I get invited.
Oh, here we go. Well, guess what? Guess what? We can officially make it a show today. You know what I mean? But you just know how your schedule is, bro. But we can look it. We can. There's nothing I would love to do more than do a show with my brother. So if we can make it official today, it's official.
All right, bet.
All right,
We
bet.
doing the show.
That's a bet. That's a bet. All right. Well, hey, to everybody who joined us, thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate you. We love talking Falcons with you guys. We love talking football with you guys. I hope you guys have a great day. And hey, man, enjoy the game tonight. It's going to be Steelers against Texans. Eric, who you got?
I think the Texans are gonna take down.
All right, Texans. Hey, that's what I was gonna say. God dang it, I was gonna say I really wanted Mike Tomlin, and I was gonna make a comparison. Like, is Mike Tomlin the hot girl that you really want to take to the prom, but you hear she's dating somebody else, and all of a sudden the night before, like, she's available. I was gonna be beautiful and set it up, and dang it, Nerd King. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, man. They're saying if Pittsburgh wins tonight, that Tomlin could be available. Which,
If Pittsburgh wins or if they lose.
no, if Pittsburgh loses, they're saying that he could be available.
Yeah, I think they're trying to move on from Mike, but he keeps winning. I think they sick of Mike because he don't get them over the hump. But
Right.
he keeps them relevant. So it's like, how do you fire this dude that doesn't have a losing season?
Well, CJ hates him. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna say CJ hates him, but
he
CJ,
does.
yeah, CJ's our cousin, but he's a Steelers fan, and
CJ wants him out of there so bad. CJ says he does nothing but win the division and then he loses every
yeah, that's what he says. So anyway, hey guys, I'm T Will. You can catch me at For My ATL Sports 1 on YouTube. If you're into TV series and movies, you can catch me at For My ATL Movies 1. You can also see me at One Time for the Fan. And you guys have an amazing day. Go Falcons, and we'll see you next time, everybody. Good night. Rise up.
ATL. Through the highs and the heartbreaks, we still stand. Dirty birds forever. Let's get it. Year after year, we've been riding through the storm. Red and black in my veins, that loyalty was swung. We don't fold, we don't run, even when the pain hits. Cause every loss just reminds us what greatness is. We show up cold nights or the Georgia sun. Cause every Sunday we believe that our time gon' come. We ain't perfect, but we faithful and we never switch. We the city of the A, yeah, we built for this. We don't need pretty words, just hard on the field we deserve. Put the work in, earn that glory. Bring our city back to the story. We'll ride till the wheels fall off. We ain't never gonna break. Win or lose, we stand tall. 48, you can doubt us, talk loud, but we still hold steady. Cause we here and we faithful and we always ready. It's the dirty, prove the dirty. If you bout it, then prove the dirty. We'll believe when you're fighting for the city.